Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I hope you guys are having an absolutely fantastic Sunday. You guys already know what we are here for. We are here for P-Valley. This is episode 8. That's right. We only have 2 more episodes in this season. And hopefully they will be jam-packed. Because this episode was, for me, another hodgepodge. I don't know. I don't know what's happening with me, but I just kind of feel like they may be jumping the shark a little bit on this season, and I'm concerned. Y'all tell me what you think. Put it down below. Does anybody else feel like they may be jumping the shark a little bit? Does anybody know what jumping the shark means? Like, let's get into it. So this episode is called The Death Drop. And even though the title is kind of menacing and has a lot of overture, it really wasn't that crazy of an episode. I have kept Lil Murder, J. Alphonse Nicholson's character at the top, the front of the class. He is teacher's pet. Y'all know that. He is my MVP. Y'all know that. I love this guy's acting. This episode, he was unseated by Roulette. Roulette gave us a absolutely positively stellar performance on this episode, but we're gonna talk about it, okay? We're gonna go character by character. We're back to our old ways. Hopefully this will get us through this review pretty quickly. I don't have a lot of add-ins, but we're gonna talk about it. So the episode opens with Mercedes. Let's talk about Mercedes first. Mercedes is her stripper game is on struggle. Like, she has, left the whole coach scene. Nobody really even missed her or even asked after her. But now she's back. She's on the pole. She's practicing. And it's pretty bad. It's clunky. It's like, it's like she put her stripper game in the shop for repairs and they just made everything worse. She's upset about it. She starts crying. Clifford comes in. Clifford says, hey, rule number 5122, no crying at the pink. And he said, your issue is not with your body. It's not the stripper game. It is in your head. And she said, your issue is that you never get out of your head. You know what I'm saying? And get on top of your issues. Get on top of your, come out of your head and get into your business. And, they're both like touche. We also get to see where Mercedes sees Maine for the first time. He just gotten out of jail. He is on an ankle bracelet. Do we know why they locked him up? I thought they locked him up because they thought he had something to do with Montavious' disappearance, or hey, I don't remember why they locked Maine up, but they locked him up. And now he's on an ankle monitor. But I thought it had something to do with what was going on down there at the pink. Anywho, so he's back and they have a little conversation. She finds out that he is having a block party. He want her to be his date for the block party. She gonna check her calendar and see what's what, and he was like, yeah, cool. So then we see where Mercedes goes back down to the pink, and she is dancing. They're gonna reopen the pink events, in about a week, and she's dancing. And this time you got, it's not an empty club. You got Roulette there with Whisper. Big Bone is there, and she done brought Diamond to work. She done brought a child to work. And he up down, and I'm like, you won't come back to work. You won't come back, to protect and help Big L and Uncle Clifford out. You know what I'm saying? You won't do it for any of those reasons because you don't need to be there and it's all this, that, and the other. But you down here snuggle up, canoodling with Big Bone at her job, like, and it's the paint. Like, what is you do? Okay, whatever, Diamond. It's all of these filler scenes. It gets on my nerves. So, like I said, Roulette Whisper, Big Bone is there with Diamond. Uncle Clifford and Haley look like they throwing auditions, but they really watching what the headline show is going to be for the grand reopening. And Autumn want to see Mercedes dance, and she is just, it is it is like somebody put you know what I'm saying, like took a real nice, beautiful Rolls Royce and put old 1957 Chevette engine in it. I mean, she is just like like her movements are so jerky, and she's just stomping around in them big shoes. It's just like, ooh, 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 ooh. Smaller movements, Mercedes. Smaller movements. I mean, just as clunky and chunky. It was like, I don't know. It was so herky-jerky, the whole dance. And Autumn is like, you are not ready. I'll be doggone. Certainly Roulette and Whisper can't be open in the club. You know, we need a headliner like a strong headliner. And Autumn is like, yeah, you right. And she calls out Keyshawn. See, she been working on Keyshawn. And getting Keyshawn to come and told Keyshawn she wanted Keyshawn to be the headliner, right? And everybody is stunned. No one is as stunned to see Keyshawn walk around that corner like Diamond. You could have and blew him over, baby. He was stunned. Okay. And Uncle Cliff was like, oh no, we're not gonna have this. But anyway, what Autumn say go? Oh no, we need somebody. She back. It's like it's a done deal. So now she's got to deal with that. On top of the fact that she got Terica calling her while she's trying to, get her stripper dancers off struggle. She got Terica calling her. Why is Terica calling her? Because Shell done stumbled her way down to Mercedes' house, and she done found out that Terica had did a termination. And Shell is her normal, mean, bitter, ugly acting self, and she's standing there looking like, a load of colored a load of dirty colored clothes. She just standing there, just everything is just dry. And of course she is nasty and she is ugly, and Mercedes returns it, and they are back and forth, and little Terica is just sitting there looking scared, looking frightened, looking like she she told Shell at all about the situation. And by the way, she also looked like she might like a Newport every now and then. Is it just me, or does Terica look the actress who played Terica look like she might smoke cigarettes? Like, yeah, I'm not the only one that sees that she looks a little bit more like Patrice that Mercedes does. Am I the only one that sees it? Okay, anyway. So I know I'm gonna catch flag for it, but I just said it. She does. Anywho, so she makes the smart decision when she sees them arguing back and forth, and it's getting heated, that she calls and she says, "Mama," and they both answer. And Shell is like, no. When she say mama, she talking about me. Always talking about me. Okay. Well, let's also, since we calling Terica the child that Mercedes gave birth to, let's call the child you gave birth to, Shell. Oh, okay. Exactly. Exactly. Calm down, Shell. You're doing too much. You're doing too much. Okay. And she gathers Shell up and takes her on home. And Mercedes is like, no, you can't be driving her around. She drunk. I get an Uber and you go on back to your room. And Terica says, it's okay. I know how to drive. Remember, you showed me. I was like, okay, yeah, this is the perfect reason why we should let a 14-year-old drive. No, I would ride y'all both home and catch an Uber back. Like, no. Anyway, she was just trying to let her mom know it was okay. I got it. Don't worry. I'm taking Shell home and I'm going home with her, but it does not mean that I don't love you. That's what that whole exchange about the car and driving and all that stuff was. Let's move forward. We also see where like I said, Maine is back and he penitentiary fine. And we see where she comes home after this, after everything has gone down at the club. She comes home and Maine's block party is in full effect, right? And he's getting everybody out of her way so she can pull into her driveway, all this, that, and the third. They get some news. The gang that he is with get some news while they partying, and he gonna run off with them. But Mercedes was like, no, don't run off with them. They ain't none of them got worried about Rona, one, and two, ain't none of them got ankle bracelets on, but you need to stay put, you know what I'm saying? And he goes to her house because whatever this thing that has happened has broken the party up. He go to her house, and this is the first time we see anyone offer Mercedes comfort. We have not seen anyone really offer Mercedes any genuine comfort. Have we? Anyone? Clifford? No. We've heard Clifford tell her to buck it up, suck it up, deal with it. Rule number so and so. Blue, blue, blue. Blah, blah, blah. Yip, yip, yip. Yap, yap, yap. But we have not heard someone allow Mercedes to be soft and broken and wounded and bewildered in the comfort of in the confines of comfort. This is the first time we see it. The individual who plays Maine did an excellent job. He looks at her and just says, what's on your mind? What's going on? You want to talk about it? And she was like, oh. And she kind of goes over what happened that night without saying, I did this, I did that, and these are the players. She said, I went into a room and there was a space, and I knew the four of us in there wasn't coming out, wasn't but three of us coming out, and I'm the one that had to make that decision. And she's upset about it. She wants to know if it ever goes away, the nightmares, do you ever stop thinking about it? And he was like, nah, honestly, you don't. He said, but hopefully you try to do good for someone else, and it balances out in the eyes of the Father. And so he kisses, and he wants to do, he wants to sneak down and play up underneath her clothes. But she was like, no, I'm looking for something else. I'm looking for something different. I don't know what this moment is, because we never get this full on exploration of Mercedes. We never get these conversations that go from character to character to character where it kind of unfolds. In other words, this is the one and only time we're going to have this moment with Mercedes. Every other moment with Mercedes is going to be on the pole. It's going to be hollering and screaming at somebody, or somebody hollering and screaming at her. Like, you know what I'm saying? We don't really get no unfolding moments with Mercedes. So we don't know what she meant by I'm looking for something else, meaning I'm cleaning my life up for Terica. I just finished hoeing, and or I just finished hoeing and I'm not trying to go back there again. I'm looking for more out of my life. I got a daughter now that I'm gonna have here in my home, and I don't need no man hanging around. Like, I'm not sure what she meant, but it looked like she had made some choices and some changes, and this is what it's gonna be. Okay. So let's move on. Keyshawn Keyshawn met Autumn down at Taffy's, and she took the kids' birth certificates. And when she took the kids' birth certificates, evidently Autumn is gonna get her passports, and she's gonna work on where she's gonna go, where she's gonna hide out, so on and so forth. Autumn kind of tricks her a little bit and says, "Where you gonna go?" And she was like, "I've been thinking, no, you don't tell nobody where you going. You can't have no accessories to it. You can't have nobody that know. When you disappear, poof, be gone. Okay?" And Keyshawn's like, "Oh, okay. Keep your location a secret." And then she, when she was getting ready to leave, Keyshawn said, "I looked up Haley Colton. They say she drowned." And you know what I'm saying? And Autumn is like, "Yeah, well, is she drowned? How can she be sitting here in Taffy's having a delicious beverage?" And Keyshawn was like, "Oh, okay, that makes sense now. Yeah, makes sense now. Are you with us, Keyshawn? Are we all on the same page? Huh? Do we know what we supposed to be doing?" Now, this is when Autumn tells her she wants her to come back to the Pink and headline. Okay, so when Keyshawn goes home, she's standing around in the kitchen. In come Derek. He done spent money that Keyshawn ain't got, and done bought her some Louboutins. Child, 2 sizes too small. He can't get them on. I'm stupid. I can't do nothing right. I'm dumb. And he getting angry and he hitting his own head. And she's like, "Calm down. Calm down." He's like, "Come on, Keyshawn. Come on. I need you to forgive me. I don't need you to give up on me." And she was like, "I just don't know. I'd do anything for you, Keyshawn, if you just don't give up on me." I was like, "Bash him over the head, Keyshawn." And she was like, "I just don't know what I... Well, do you want to go back? I'll fix your room up. You can go back to stripping online." "I don't want to do OnlyFans." "Well, it's okay. You can go on tour and you can strip for complete strangers out there on the street. On a worldwide stage, Keyshawn." And she's like, "You know what? I don't think I want to do a tour." He was like, "Well, do you want to go down to the Pink?" And she was like, "Okay, that sounds like a genius idea." He was like, "I don't know, nothing good happens at the Pink." She was like, "It's the only place I can feel free." And he was like, "Oh, okay then. That's what you want? I'll let you go down to the Pink." And just like that, poof, be gone. Them bruises is gone. She done put on her cheap trailer park glitter eye makeup and her lashes and her sparkle top, and she done went on down to the Pink. She finna get her job back at the Pink. Yep. And basically that's Keyshawn. So then let's talk about Autumn. I said it before, I'll say it again. I don't have no problem with Autumn. I have an issue with the fact that Autumn is like the sleeper for the whole episode, and then usually between the third to the last and the last episode, for some reason Autumn always comes out as like our hero. We've only had one season. I'm just saying it looks like it's gonna pan out that way again, where Autumn is coming in and she seems like she's gonna save the day once again, because everybody just assume Autumn is selling the Pink out from underneath them. Nobody is really checking for Autumn like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a weird setup. So while she in Taffy's talking with Keyshawn, the news come on, and basically it's a media outlet that the interim mayor Kyle has put this organization to discredit his opponents, which is Andre and Patrice Woodbine. Well, Andre's said in his campaign his father died when he was young, crack addicted mother. He just set up this whole little scenario. Come to find out, his daddy's in jail for murder. He's not dead. I don't know why that was a big deal. I mean, you just say, I thought he was dead. Shoot, I didn't know. I thought y'all meant dead to me. It's just odd that they're acting like this the end of the world. Like, for Andre. Patrice Woodbine's story done came out too. They done revealed it. Big surprise. She was a hooker and a hoe. She was a whoring hooker and a scammer and bad chicks and so on and so forth. Patrice takes responsibility for it all. And she was like, "Yep, I used to be a hoe because this county, this city ain't never did nothing for me. I wrote a couple of bad checks. I paid for it, but it's because I was in such a bad way. I was forced to do these things." And it, because she owns it, I mean, she's gaining on both of them in terms of the polls. So people are really concerned about her, especially Corbin and Andre. And they fight about it, Corbin and Andre. They have conversation about it. Corbin is blaming Andre. Andre's like, "Look, give me a chance. I didn't know. Like, slow down. Like, I fix it. I'll work on this. And it's not my fault." And Corbin is like, "Get this together. You're making me look bad. I put my money behind you. What would my brother say? Like, we need to get this done. Remember, we trying to get this casino." Like, Corbin's under a lot of stress. And every time he turn around, somebody calling him half of this or half of that. It's weird. It is weird. It is weird. So, anywho, we see where Corbin heads over to his brother's office to talk to his brother because he know his brother behind these ads and he want to talk his brother down. And his brother's like, "Listen, you siding with Andre against me in this race is what's holding us back, and I'm not having any sympathy on you. If I don't win, you in trouble. If you win and go against your brothers, you in trouble. Like, either way it goes, we're never gonna accept you. We don't like you, and you need to get your itch together, okay, before we squash you like a bug." This is basically what his brother is telling him. He don't know. He ain't got nothing to say, really. We see where Autumn goes down to the beauty parlor to see Mae West, and she down there, and she tells Autumn that she's quite beautiful and she's glad that Autumn is pretty and she knows her worth. But according to Mae West, Autumn's worth has its limits. Like, it's only gonna take you so far, right? And $5 million is her final offer. And speaking of limits, right? I'm not offering you $10 million. What you're going to do is let the clock run out. And we don't even know for sure if the casino, the city is going to let the casino come in. With this referendum, they could kill the casino. And you won't have any money. You best take this $5 million and go on about your business. Because if this casino don't come, at least you got this $5 million. And Autumn's like, "You know what? I'm gonna hold out just a little bit longer and see what I get." And she warns her, "You might crap out, if this casino don't go through." Then we see where Autumn goes over and see Andre, and Andre is so weak and so feckless. Kind of find out when Autumn was there last. Remember when she was making him feel like he was in charge, and Lakeisha Savage was making him feel like he was in charge. Okay. She making him feel like he in charge, and she done left him a $10,000 check. Autumn, you ain't even got no place to stay, girl. Why is you writing checks for 10 grand? What is you like? Okay, I didn't get it, but it's fine. She bring moonshine, and she at the door, and she got some moonshine. We learned a little bit more about Autumn because as Andre is complaining about his dad being in jail and him going to see his dad through plexiglass, we learned from Autumn that, hey, she said, at least you got a daddy. At least you know where you can find your daddy. I don't know where my people at. I have no idea where I got my nose, my eyes, my nothing from. I don't know where my people are. And I was like, oh, Autumn was an orphan? An orphan. She did say that in her story. She was an orphan. I was like, oh, man. Again, Autumn's another one of those characters that we're not building out. We're not building out at all. It's just weird. Anyway, So through these little conversations here and there, we learned a little bit more about Autumn. And in the conversation, she wants to know drunkenly if he wants to do it again, get him another $10,000. And he was like, I don't have no ones. And she was like, oh, cash your check, that check I gave you. And he was like, I'm waiting on that check, to cash that check and use it for a campaign donation. And it gives Autumn an idea. And so she calls up Brazil and was like, you want to make some extra money? Do you need an extra income stream? And she was like, grab those girls and meet me. I was like, what is Autumn up to? Okay. So Autumn and Clifford fighting left and right, but let's talk about it. Okay, let's head on over to Clifford. So Clifford is cutting Lil Murder's hair, and Lil Murder's getting ready for Teek's funeral. They get into this argument about secrets. Lil Murder's got secrets, and Clifford's got secrets. Lil Murder thinks, and the conversation goes back to them being when they was apart, if they was out here messing with other people, was they protecting each other, it was something. It was such a anyway. Lil Murder says, well, if I was out here in these streets doing whatever with whomever, you best believe I was wearing my condom, right? And can he ask Clifford if he can say the same? And Clifford is like, you win this time, Mister. You win this time, Mister. But I'm on to you. I was like, go on now, Clifford, go on. And so, Lil Murder was saying the reason why I was doing the things with you the way I was doing them with you is because I wanted to show you, basically how serious I am about you. Like, I don't go raw dogging with everybody. I guess, child. I don't know. Anywho, so they had this little moment, and then we see where Lil Murder goes down to the funeral home, and Walty is there, and they got Teek stretched out, and we see where Lil Murder is touching Teek's, shoulder and face and hands, and I was like, nope. Let me tell you something. One of the coldest things you will ever touch in this world is a dead body. I promise you, it ain't nothing like touching ice. It ain't nothing like being in super cold temperatures. It's a different kind of cold. When you touch this flesh, it's living. It is living. It bounces. It's spongy. When you touch a dead body, it is the coldest. I cannot explain it. It's one of the coldest things you will ever touch. And I promise you, you will not be eager to touch it again. I promise you. You will not. In the end, in the funeral, when we see him tweet Teek's nose in the casket, that nose would have came. I digress. You see, did you see all that light? No. It was a cute moment. So he goes down. He's still on the slab. He's brought Teek's outfit, right? It's going to be pertaining to the gang, saying still nice. But this is the get up he's put. And all the men have gathered for the funeral. But first, Walty and Lil Murder talk a little bit about what happened with Rome. And basically, Lil Murder knows that Walty put an end to Lil Rome. And he said, you playing God now. He said, Walty said we all got a little bit of God in us. And the devil too, right? And so it was like Lil Murder was like, oh, so you playing, you think it, I just didn't understand it. I didn't understand where Lil Murder was coming from in this moment. And Walty was like he was a rapist and a thief and this and that and the other. And Lil Murder was calling Walty out on it. I was like, what's going on? What's happening here? Anyway, it was a moment. Then we get to the funeral of Walty told him that Rome showed Keyshawn the tape. the video, and he said, I took care of it. You don't have to worry about the video. And Lil Murder said, what if he sent the video before he passed? And Walter said, I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it. Okay. I was like, oh, okay. All right, Walter. So we see where, let's see. Clifford, like I said, he's down at the club prepping for the grand reopen. We talking about Clifford and Murder now. Grand reopening, and we can hear after Keyshawn comes in and Mercedes has a really just bad dance performance. He and Autumn are just like fighting like cats and dogs. I mean, they are like, the strippers are like in the stripper area, and they're like kids when they mom and daddy fight and they go to their room and they just be listening to everything they say. That's what's going on there. Come to find out, Clifford and Autumn fight all the time. We see where Clifford gathers some of his things because he's afraid she gonna put some of his stuff on the auction block, and if he could get the jukebox out of there he would, and put it in his Birkin. Now he goes out and gets into what has to be like a 1988 89 deuce and a quarter. Gucci purse. It's fin. Okay, it's fine. Whatever. Whatever. Clit ain't clit. Okay. So he leaves and he encounters his mama's spirit. Basically, he's upset. He's crying. He's frustrated. Not really crying because for some reason Nico Inan really struggles with bringing us tears. Anyway, mom comes and she's sitting behind him and he's looking at her in the rear view. It's just his own subconscious speaking out, of course. And he, she tells him, don't just cry, get even. And it gives him an idea. So we see where Teek's funeral is basically ridiculous. They've got a do-rag tied on the guy's head. But, I mean, at least they came and claimed the body. And they all taking off a chain and laying it on his body, supposed to be buried with him. Good and doggone well. Ain't nobody burying all that jewelry with that body. You best cool believe it. No, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. So, the best way to get your loved one body dug up is to bury him with all that jewelry. But I digress. So, we see there's a real genuine moment there where Lil Murder writes some lyrics and puts it in Teek's hand in the casket and says, I'm just in case you need something to get you through this darkness. You know what I'm saying? I'll write you one more rhyme. It's a good moment. And when he turns and walks off, I mean, he's just flooded. He's just overwhelmed with tears. Like, it is crazy. When they put Teek's red casket in the funeral car, he taps on it one last time, and when he turns to walk off, I mean, it's just buckets of tears just fall. I'm like, this guy, period, like on period, right? So good, such a good moment. We see where the guys in Lil Murder's gang are upset because Pico, the guy who kind of put a bug in Rome's ear about Lil Murder, is on live with the gun and all his gang, and he's taking credit for Teek. The Lil Murder's gang is upset about it. They're saying all these different ways they heard Teek died, but I'm like, y'all don't see that? Anyway, apparently no one knows that he took his own life, and he took it right there in the car with Lil Murder. So they're saying, since Pico is taking credit and he's being disrespectful to Teek's name, they want Lil Murder to handle Pico, right? And That's basically what Lil Murder does. He waits for Pico to be headed on his way home. He steps out of the shadows, and Pico knows what it is. He's got, a automatic gun here. This da 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 da. The one that shoots a lot of bullets at one time. He pulls that joker out. And he's talking to him, and he says, yeah, so you're, once again, he makes this reference about the Lord. He's told Waldy, so you think you're the father, right? And he's telling Pico, so you think you the father now, like you give it then you take it away. And Pico's like, no, I got a mama and I got a baby on the way and I got a son that just turned 6, and I was just talking. I had no idea. I was just talking because he beat me up in Tennessee, and I don't mean it like that, and come on, have a heart, don't do this. And Lil Murder seems like he's considering it, but he tells him, he says, you think you're the father. You don't know nothing about death or taking a life. You don't know nothing about hearing the gunshot. You don't know nothing about the sputtering and of the last breath, that death rattle, and throwing up or losing their bowel. Like, you don't know what it's like to watch somebody die right in front of you. And it's crazy because it reminds me of something my father used to always say. And when being a Vietnam vet and an ex-Marine and all of this stuff, he would say that a lot of these young cats don't know nothing about seeing the light go out of a man's eyes, okay? Or being the reason that a man don't make it back home, right? Like, you don't really know what death is. You don't really know what it's like to really, really, really stand there and watch somebody take their last breath. And now, in this moment, this conversation reminds me of it. It's another good moment from J. Alphonse Nicholson, but he wasn't my MVP. He wasn't my MVP this episode. Now, what he does is, when Pico's going on and on about all this stuff he has to lose, and his son being 6, and he just had a birthday, and he tells him, he said, your son Tyson? And he said, yeah, my son Tyson. And Lil Murder said, I'll let him know you love him. Da-da! Da-da-da-da-da-da! It was a little overkill. I was like, what was that, like 15 bullets? Did you just put 15 bullets in this cat? Like, okay, fine. So then he walks off. He puts his mask on. He walks off. And he does like a little light jog. It's a good moment. Some good dialogue. And it's beautifully executed, in my opinion, by J. Alphonse, right? So that was crazy. So Lil Murder, you just killing people now? You just killing people? Or it's in this moment I realized, I think everybody was afraid that Lil Murder was gonna get killed. I don't think Lil Murder's gonna get killed in this season. I think Lil Murder's going to jail. That's what I think. I think Lil Murder's going to jail. That's what I think. We see where Cliff goes to see Corbin, and there was a lot of overtures towards colorism in this episode, and it's starting to bother me a little bit. I don't know, it's starting to bother me a little bit. And let me tell you this. Okay, so Clifford goes to see Corbin. Corbin is working on his land. Clifford pulls up, and he's basically wants to put a bug in Corbin's ear. For the most part, the enemy of my enemy, which is Autumn, is my friend. Plus, he's known Corbin since they were small children. So they have a different relationship. Is it me, or does Clifford have a very... To me, I see it, but nobody else sees it. Nico and Anon is very comfortable to me on screen with just about everybody. To me, in the scenes with Lil Murder, he comes across as awkward. And that's just to me. That's just to me. No one else sees it but me. No one else sees it but me. This easy breezy light conversation he had with Corbin, where he called him a half ninja. And y'all know what I mean when I say ninja. I thought it was gross. I thought it was gross. I didn't like that. It bothered me. It bothered me. That bothered me. All of the half breed, half this, half that conversation from Corbin's full white brother, that I was just like, I don't get it. I don't get why on camera and off people are corrected in scene and out of scene, meaning in some reviews I've seen and conversations on Twitter, people want to correct you about calling Clifford a he. I've never committed to do one thing or the other. I know I can't. This is just how I review. You know what I mean? I try to call him Clifford as much as I can. But I don't get into splitting hairs about he or she, or I can't do that. And know all y'all characters' names too. Just what it is, okay? But people always have something to say, like I said, in scene and out, about calling Clifford a he. But there's no conversation about all of these half breed, half ninja. Like, I just, am I under or overstating? Am I being too sensitive? Is it different? Is it really different? I mean, we've normalized the N word, we've normalized the B word, but we can't normalize the F word. I don't want to say it. I don't need to say it. It's not even in my vocabulary. So it doesn't matter to me. I'm not advocating for saying it. I'm just saying the hills that we're dying on here lately have nothing to do with the culture as a whole. Okay. And are just as denigrating, in my opinion. Okay. You got Corbin, a white man, calling his brother a half-breed, and then you got Clifford basically doing the same thing, calling him a little half-Indian. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Here's an opportunity for us to correct that. Here's an opportunity for us to have some clarity on those things. Anyone? At all? Okay. All right, I'll wait. Y'all tell me what you think. Put it down below. I mean, I'm just saying. If it offends you, evidently it doesn't offend us. Evidently we've gotten used to it. Anyway, he talks to Corbin. And as he insults him, he gives him some smart advice. The only thing that if Patrice is your main problem right now, the only thing that Patrice really likes more than her pulpit is money. Take her some money and you can get rid of her lickety split. That's basically what that meeting was about. And so we see where Clifford then goes in the dark. Now you in the paint with Big L and you scared of the spooky noises and the spooky things that's going on down at the pink, but you in the grave site at night. I told y'all they keep shooting Clifford scenes in the dark. We did get to see him in the daylight with Corbin, but most of Clifford's scenes are in the dark. Most of Clifford's scenes are overshadowed in darkness. I'm telling you guys, I'm prepared to be wrong, but I'm not. Okay, so we see all that. And he's talking to his mom. And he's asking her not to take his grandmother, Ernestine. He's telling her he missed her. I'm like, is it to your mom? He's smoking a cigarette that's not lit. He's pouring out dark liquor, and he's just sitting down there on the ground of a gravesite. And he doesn't want his mom to take his grandmother. Your mom's actually not in charge of that, Clifford, but that's fine. Then he kind of opines about grandmother Ernestine and wanting her to stay and how much he needs her. And then he talks about how much he misses his mom. It's another moment of it's so cloudy, it's so convoluted. I said it before, I'll say it again. I feel like the Clifford character this season is a mascot. Here is another episode where another scene where he struggles to to bring real tears. He struggles. I don't know if that's why. I don't know. I don't know. Season 1, I really like Kofi Annan's character. In this season, for some reason, he's falling flat for me. Just completely flat, in my opinion. So, I don't know. He's praying to his mom not to take his grandmother. So, the best scene this episode has to be the Roulette Whisper scene, because Roulette has finally talked Whisper into prostituting herself. Basically, she's got Terrence on hold while she talks Whisper into doing what it is that he wants for money, which is he wants to downtown Julie Browner, right? And so Whisper decides that she's gonna do it because she can make good money doing it, and that's all he basically wants to do is a little tongue tickling. And so she's like, okay, that's fine. So they go down to the hotel, they drink and they snorting and they smoking and they getting high and drunk, getting ready, getting prepped up so they can act like they like whatever's about to go on. Terrence show up and he is surprised to see Roulette there. Thank goodness she stayed. Else Whisper probably was gonna be on the have you seen me list, right? And from the gate, Roulette has taken control of this situation. She lets him know, I'm staying and you're paying and there's nothing you can do about it. Now if you don't like it, you can leave and this thing can be over and done with, right? She takes control over the situation. He's like, that's fine. So then we see where she's in the bathroom playing Candy Crush and he is doing the tongue tickle on Whisper, and Whisper is just like, oh, it's the greatest thing I've ever had and felt. Oh, it's lovely. Oh. And and so everything's done. He gets up, and that's all he paid for, so that's all he's getting. She's like, okay, thank you so much for your time, and he takes his big wad of money and he throws it on the ground. Now you lost me when you did that, sir. You lost me. Yeah. So she gets down and gets it, and as she's picking it up, she realizes it's $200 short. Out comes Roulette. Roulette is like, hey, what's going on? Why you ain't paying my girl like you supposed to be paying my girl, right? And he is like, oh, first of all, it was barely worth it, and if she want the rest of the money, she need to give me some more stuff with it. And she was like, no, that's not what we agreed upon. Like, we agreed that I would let you tongue tickle for this much money. And he was like, and she don't even know how to moan right. And Whisper is like, you know what, from the moment you walked in, I saw it all over you. Small penis energy. You give me small penis energy. Your tongue is all you got. Huh? Do tongues get an erection? Because if tongues get an erection, it's really all you got. Basically, just, boop, 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 boop. She comes for his manhood. And remember I tell you when he yoked her up so fast, it felt so real. Say something else. Dude. Say something else. Say it again. Let me hear you say it. Say it again. And she's like, Next thing you know, you hear it. Roulette got a gun to his head. And he's like, sorry. I was just gonna mollywop her lightly. And she was like, yeah. He was like, what you gonna do with this gun? And Whisper's terrified. She's like, I didn't sign up for this. I was like, no, Whisper, you tiptoeing the dog cards, boo. Don't you dance with the devil by the pale moonlight, Whisper. Why is you scared? Then your leaves didn't tell you that. Okay. Roulette says, I ain't playing about my gun. You best know I'm gonna pull the trigger. And he was like, nah. Now, see, she got several bones to pick. One, messing with her money. Two, okay, you said I wasn't ish, right? I got these D-sucking lips, right? I get these lips built for Georgia Dome, right? You've been disrespecting me, putting me to work for less money, and you come over here and want to service her for more money, and you shortchange her. She got a bone to pick with him anyway, because he elevated Whisper over her because of Whisper's skin tone. Whisper had more value than she did because of Whisper's skin tone, right? It's there. We just don't talk about it. We just don't clear it up. We're not doing any clarification on it at all, ever. But it's there. It's there. This colorism thing, right? And so, so he is just like, oh, and she was like, you know what? I'm about that life. And so she takes the gun and puts it to her own head. Remember her name Roulette, as in Russian roulette, right? And he and everybody's like, oh, put a gun in your own head. I was like, too soon. It's too soon, Big Valley. We just 2 episodes down from this whole Teak situation. Like, I don't know. Anyway, so puts the gun back to his head. And she was like, oh yeah, you want to play? She pulls it in. Oh, he almost faints. He peed a little bit. I'm pretty sure he did. And then she tells Whisper to get all his clothes, take all his clothes off, and leave him buck booty ball naked, which she does. And then she comes around to the front of him, and she was like, you know what? And he was like, come on now, you ain't got to do this, you ain't got to act like this. She said, get on your knees. And he was like, what? Wait now. I said, did you want a tongue tickle? Because I tickle. I got a tongue and I can tickle. I can tickle you too. And she was like, open your mouth. Open it. And he was like, let's think about this. Even Whisper's like, come on, let's just go roulette. Come on, Roulette, let's not do this. And Roulette like, no, I'm about that life. I'm on one. She makes him open his mouth, and she puts that gun down in his mouth. And she says, moan. Show her how you want her to moan. And he's like, come on, I can hear her moan. And he was like, ooh. She was like, yeah. She violates his tongue. Oh yes. Humiliation, violation. Okay. She basically diminishes his manhood, his thuggism, like all of it. She took it all. And then she took the keys to his car, the rest of his money out of his pocket, and they was out. Pulled the car off, took the car down to Duffy's, and told Duffy she wanted him to bust it down basically and get her share of it. And Duffy want a kiss. Look at them big beautiful lips. Every time he see her, he want a little piece of her. And she is like, slow your roll. Well, if you can't handle these 2 lips, okay, I can feel your knees buckling when I give you a little sugar. You definitely can't handle these labias. I said, you better come on, medical term, labias, okay? You can't handle it. All right. And so he said, well, you want me to send your bust down money, baby? And she was like, down in the valley. And you know the rest. I said, yeah, where the girls get naked. Huh? Okay. All right. It's a good moment. This was a good moment. Roulette gave me a little Harley Quinn / Regina King in The Harder They Fall. Y'all know the Regina King character in The Harder They Fall? That's what she was giving me. I was like, okay, so Roulette is really dangerous. When she gets done talking with Duffy, she drops the barrel of that gun and spins it, and it had one bullet in it. This something she do all the time. Apparently. It's crazy. Well, so we see where Murder is in the studio, and he getting ready to drop a beat. He looked down at his hands and his ring, and it's got blood all over it. And I don't know, I just feel like in this moment we see a different murder. I think something in this episode, I think that this is the episode where things change for Lil Murder. This is why it's my prediction now that Lil Murder is probably going to go to jail and not die, right? He's going to be accessible but unaccessible all at the same time. So yeah, I'm excited to see what's going to go on with Autumn. I am, excited to see what is going to happen with this roulette situation, because the dude is not going to let you emasculate him like this and take his prized vehicle and all his money and be out, and he know he can find you right there down at the paint all day long. Like, that's going to be a mess. So I'm not really sure about that, and I don't know what Autumn has going on, but hopefully Autumn is going to parlay this thing, and really her and Clifford and the girls down in the paint will come out on top. I just don't know how they're gonna do it in 2 episodes, but it can be done. I feel like we're gonna change Grandmother Ernestine out for Lil Murder. I don't think Grandmother Ernestine they've decided whether they're gonna kill her off yet. Okay, y'all tell me what y'all think about this episode. What do y'all think about my comments regarding colorism and the pronouns and all of that? It's just weird to me. It's weird. It's always a little odd to me that the very thing that people say they want, in other words, address me correctly, if you don't address me correctly, is disrespectful. But at the same time, we consider misaddressing or referencing what other people's preferences are, how they identify. We make fun of it. We use it as entertainment. You know what I mean? The injure word. Like, a lot of black people don't want to be called an injure word. A lot of black people don't care for that. A lot of women don't like to be called bees, even in jest, even in fun. Like, some of us don't think it's something you say you don't like, and people act like it's the hardest thing in the world for them not to do it. We just talking one-on-one. Y'all tell me what y'all think. Y'all put it down below. And listen, until next time, honeybees. I'll holla.